A very good afternoon to you on this 7th day of November 2024. We thank you for watching TV47. You're just in time for news now right here on the home of Untold Stories. My name is George Maringa. Here are some of the top stories making headlines at this hour. Among the top stories, 5 KCSE candidates from Makande Secondary School in Mombasa were rushed to hospital today after fainting during the Kiswahili exam.
There is a very strong smell which has affected the whole area, not only even the school compound, the whole of this vicinity.
Authorities say noxious gas in the area caused breathing difficulties. Police in Juja have arrested 8 suspects and seized 480 liters of ethanol, along with cartons of counterfeit alcohol, allegedly produced in a secret home distillery in Theta village.
Pombe mtaa hii wetu ni watu wanakuja, lakini wanakuja na kisiri, kwa maana hii ni manyumba na watu hapana ingiaga ovyo ovyo.
And the Teachers Service Commission is set to retrain 70,000 teachers nationwide, including those in special needs schools, for the upcoming grade 9 transition under CBC. But funding is still a hurdle.
We have gotten 1 billion from Parliament to retool 70,000 teachers from both public and private schools.
We thank you for choosing TV47 to inform you. You can find me at George Maringa _ on the socials or at TV47 News at TV47 News KE. Let's begin. Police in Juja have arrested 8 suspects and seized 480 liters of ethanol plus cartons of counterfeit alcohol allegedly produced in a home distillery in Theta village. Speaking to the press, Kiambu County Police Commander Michael Mushiri confirmed the seizure of fake KRA labels believed to be used for tax evasion and misleading consumers. Mushiri warned that the unsafe production conditions were a serious health risk and vowed no mercy for those involved in the illegal trade.
Prepared in a very crude way, dirty environment. And again, for us, we really are happy that we're able to stop this so that members of the public don't get harmed any further. Again, we've also been able to find some 300 cartons of empty bottles. These are bottles that are believed to where this product is eventually put in and then ready for sale to the public. With us here is a motor vehicle. It's a Noah type. It's loaded with cartons of empty bottles.
Hiyo ni mambo ambayo inafaa ikomeshwe na serikali na hiyo mambo ipate kuondoka.
Ile tunaona pombe mtaa hii wetu ni watu wanakuja, lakini wanakuja na kisiri, kwa maana hii ni manyumba na watu hapana ingiaga ovyo ovyo. Sasa ndio tunastuka, kwa maana wakati tunazunguka hapa na chief, senior chief na masivu yetu, pombe imekwisha, pombe imefungua, bangi na dawa za kulevya wamefungua.
Indeed, 5 KCSE candidates from Makande Secondary School in Mombasa were rushed to hospital today after fainting from breathing difficulties caused by toxic gas during the Kiswahili exam. Mvita Sub-County Education Director Ali Aiden confirmed the gas affected both the school and nearby areas. He assured the public that the 5 students were stable and the rest were relocated to a safer spot to finish their exams. Investigations are underway to trace the source of the gas.
This gas is not emanating from the school. It is emanating from, I don't know, from around. Maybe the big industries. Do we have industries here? Yes, they were candidates. They were, yeah. The other candidates were relocated to Makupa Boys Secondary. Yes.
But we had ferry 5 students to Coast General Hospital because they were almost fainting after that incident. For now, what we'll do We are going to condone the area, but the area that we suspect that there is that gas, because we have a team of investigators here, because like behind me is Odo is in charge of high risk. We will, with in charge of police and DCI, so we will condone the area, investigate, and once we get to know who is the culprit, so definitely we'll take action, because the authorities here, EPRA, ourselves, police, DCI, and health, and definitely we'll take action and take who is responsible to court.
And still on that tragedy, Education CS Julius Migos Ogamba was in Mombasa where that incident happened, and let's listen into what he said earlier.
Yeah, so thank you very much. This morning there was an incident here where there was a pungent smell that affected our learners who are preparing to do their exams, and they hadn't started the examinations. There were 84 learners preparing to do their KCSE, the Swahili papers for today. And what happened is 8 of them were affected, and they felt faint. 3 of them were given first aid within the premises and they recovered. But 5 of them did not recover that quickly. They were taken to the hospital and they were treated there. They are now back in school. They have been discharged and they have been given a clean bill of health. The source of the smell has not been established. The multi-agency team that was called here has gone on to do investigations, including within the surrounding industries that are around here, to confirm how they discharge their effluent and how they handle those noxious gases that they emanate. So that agency team, once they confirm whether the particular pungent smell emanated from any of those industries, they would be able to deal with them, including closing them. But the students that were taken to the hospital in the morning, the 5 of them were able to do the exams, the morning paper in the hospital, and they completed. And by the afternoon they were better, and they are back here, and the afternoon papers are being undertaken. So all of the 84 students are taken care of, and they are.
The Teachers Service Commission, TSA, is set to retrain 70,000 teachers across public, private and special needs schools ahead of the CBC transition to grade 9 in January. Speaking at a conference in Mombasa, TSC CEO Nancy Macharia urged Parliament to allocate more funding for the program's success. She also assured that more teachers will be promoted before the start of next year's first term.
In education and the UN.
Retooling of teachers. We have gotten 1 billion from Parliament to retool 70,000 teachers from both public and private schools, including SNE institutions, before schools open in January. Already the Commission has retooled 60,642 grade 7 and grade 8 teachers in 2023, early this year.
We know we are in hard economic times, but the government's agenda is to have a motivated teacher in a classroom, and therefore we shall try our best to look on how to avail the funds. Recently, the government was confirming for 6,000 teachers, interns. They have also employed 20,000 interns. We have given 1 billion for promotion of teachers. This government is a government that is pro-teachers. They really want to make sure that the teaching service is robust, motivated, and moving forward.
President William Ruto has emphasized the need for global collaboration to combat hunger, urging partners to implement policies that boost food production amid growing populations. Speaking at the World Without Hunger conference in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Ruto called on governments, international organizations, the private sector and other stakeholders to ensure farmers have access to necessary inputs, irrigation systems, and infrastructure to reduce post-harvest losses. Back into the country, where sugarcane farmers in Kakamega County have commended the president for signing the 2022 sugar bill, which they believe will bring major reforms to the sugar industry. Speaking in Kakamega, the farmers expressed optimism that the bill will establish a sugar board with strategies to ensure fair benefits for sugarcane farmers. Led by Patrick Sungani and Joyce Odari, the farmers called on the government to control sugar imports, stressing that limiting imports would protect local industries and help sugarcane farmers gain more profit from their produce. They emphasized that with proper regulations and oversight, the sugar sector could become more profitable, boosting both the economy and the livelihoods of those who depend on sugarcane farming in Kenya.
Of the contracted people in the sugarcane industry are parents and are also farmers. Teachers are also included. They get their proceeds from which they pay fees for their children. So closure of the millers or the sugarcane industries will make parents unable to educate their children at all levels, right away from primary and even the university. It will impact negatively on the economy of this country. So we want the sugarcane industry to be protected using the newly enacted bill. And more so, we are stressing about poaching. Poaching is a very serious thing, and stealing and theft in the sugarcane industry must be stopped at all cost.
Na ule mtu alikuwa ametuua hapo mwanzo alikuwa anaitwa mtu anaitwa sijui afa. Tafadhali sugar board isiweke nguvu chini waje wakamezwa na mikakati ile iliyokuwa imewekwa na afa. Hatuombi, tunataka watimize yale yanaumiza wakulima.
Stakeholders in the agricultural sector from the country and foreign countries are developing strategies to improve agriculture to become an investment and achieve food security. Speaking at the three-day Agri Business conference in Nairobi, the leaders from Calro Agricultural Research Center, E41 Impact, or rather E for Impact, AU NEPAD, FAO, that is the Food and Agriculture Organization, WFP, the World Food Programme, among other stakeholders, have said there is a huge opportunity in Africa to improve agriculture and help communities to develop their livelihoods. E for Impact Director David Cheboriot says that Africa has opportunities for entrepreneurship. He also commended a nation like New Zealand for promoting agricultural trade in the country and Africa as a whole.
As Africa, even as a continent, we are a net importer of food. Agriculture forms nowadays less than 10% of our GDP, while it employs almost 90% of our population, right? So there's really need to do something very specific about agriculture and agribusiness. And so bringing together all actors in Africa from different African countries to put their heads together on how they can scale agribusinesses is fundamental. It's really important, even for our own sustainability as Africa.
Agribusiness in itself is also a great part of ensuring that the youth and women get gainful employment. As you know, the continent faces a youth bulge, and it is important for us to ensure that the agriculture value addition and production is part of our industrialization strategy as a continent. If we are to achieve the set targets of food security, lessening the vulnerabilities of our continent to the shocks as we saw during the COVID-19.
I am in the accelerator program, current accelerator program for Impact. And the reason that I joined this accelerator program is because my business is at the stage of growth now. And I would like to expand the business, and for me to expand, to prepare myself for the expansion and the growth, I needed to get to understand the business principles and understand my numbers and be able to be ready to fundraise.
Rice farmers and lovers of rice, you might want to listen to this, because rice fields in Mwea have turned into battlegrounds as local farmers fight back against the devastating impact of snails. Known for their destructive appetite, these snails feast on young rice seedlings, slashing yields and threatening the local economy. At a recent training session by Calro titled Unlocking Rice Farmers' Agri Business Potential, snail control emerged as a very major concern. Dr. Ruth Musila, manager of the Mwea Research Center, highlighted that farmers are increasingly alarmed by the spread of golden apple snails and are sharing strategies to tackle the infestation. As snails continue to ravage crops, the future of rice farming in Mwea hangs in the balance.
We are here today with continuation of our training workshop on certified rice seed production to our rice seed growers in Mwea. We have taken through lectures, and here we are doing demonstrations of what we have been able to teach them. For today, we wanted them to learn right from the beginning of the preparation of the land, how they need to level their land. We also wanted them to know at what stage should they do the transplanting of their rice. And because we are doing seed, it needs to be planted using guidelines. In this training, I know most of the farmers are really concerned about the golden apple snails, but we have been able to give them tips on how they can be able to manage the golden apple snails. For example, once they have done their transplanting, they need to drain the water, because of course without the water you do not have the golden apple snails. So they need to drain the water so that the golden apple snails does not attack the transplanted seedlings. And we have been able to take them through that process of management of the golden.
Indeed, Taita Taveta County, MEST and Taita Taveta University have teamed up to ramp up banana production in the region. The partnership will supply organic banana seedlings to local farmers, aiming to boost yields across the county. Julius Mariki has more.
Taita Taveta County Government has partnered with MESP and Taita Taveta University to produce organic banana seedlings in aim to boost organic banana farming here in Taita Taveta County and coastal region. Now let's get to hear some of their sentiments.
I'd like to take this early opportunity to thank the county government of Taita Taveta and the university, the Taita Taveta University staff fraternity, together with the commercial partners, for jointly enabling us to work together to commercialize the banana subsector, but also most importantly working very closely to establish a tissue culture lab that is going to be very instrumental in the supply of quality banana in this particular region, basically the whole of coastal region.
We came to that partnership with them, and they had been working, the MESP was working with county government, and county government of Taita Taveta is our big supporter. It has been our biggest supporter since we came here to Taita. Even the land that we are standing on, it was actually given to us by Taita Taveta county government. And so we want to make a very big institution here that is teaching agricultural sciences, all the value chains, including livelihood development, marketing, processing, value addition, and all these other things that are connected with the food value chains.
Natazamia huo uzalishaji na kwamba soko iko within reach, itakusaidia kupata hela, pesa mfukoni, chakula mezani. Ndio tunasema. Si nimesema soko ya kwanza ni tumbo zetu wenyewe. Manake ndizi ni chakula, tena ni matunda. Na huku Taita Taveta tumekuwa na uhaba wa chakula. Kwa hivyo hii program si kwa ajili tu ya fedha peke yake, lakini pia kwa kutuwezesha kuwa na chakula cha kutosha. kuweza kujenga uwezo wetu wa kuwa na chakula cha kutosha katika kaunti na katika ukanda wetu wa pwani.
Right now, it's a difficult time because there's not big volumes, there's only small volumes. We need 12,000 metric tons for starting up a big factory, which is the plan. I think that will be in the next 2, maximum 3 years with that the way this project is developing. So I really find that things are going extremely well here.
Well, and those are some of the sentiments that we'll be looking forward to see how farmers here in Taita Taveta County are going to benefit out of it. Reporting for TV47 in Taita Taveta County, I'm Julius Mariki, Mwakivo.
Many thanks, Julius Mariki, for that report. The State Department for Technical Vocational Education and Training, TVET, is now incorporating green skills into its curriculum to better prepare students for the challenges of climate change. According to Principal Secretary Dr. Esther Moria, the government is already ahead of the curve in rolling out this new approach through its agencies. At a competency-based assessment workshop at the Rift Valley National Polytechnic in Nakuru, Moria urged TVET trainers to move away from traditional lecture halls and cut back on paperwork, focusing instead on hands-on climate-resilient skills. She also emphasized the need for tutors to adopt digital teaching tools and highlighted the government's ongoing efforts to equip TVET institutions with the resources necessary to provide students with practical industry-ready training. The push for green skills is part of a broader effort to ensure that Kenya's workforce is prepared for a sustainable, climate-conscious future.
What we are doing here is training the trainers in competency-based assessment. It is not just sitting down in a large classroom and writing examination. No. We have to have what, for example, we call the portfolio of evidence, which is being able to store, to have in place what the students have been doing across the training. So that at the end of the day, what we want to see is this young person able to do what we say that they have been able to do? If it is electrical wiring, are they able to do electrical wiring? Do we have evidence that they have been trained and have been doing this electrical wiring practically during their training? We have also adopted what we call dual training. Dual training is ensuring a trainee is trained half of the time in our institution and half of the time in industry. With the latest very pertinent bilateral agreement which was signed with Germany, again discussions are underway.
Employers are not interested in those diplomas that you come carrying. They are not. They want you to demonstrate that you know that which you are saying you know. So, colleagues, trainers, because I'm also one of you, what we are saying is that we are going to train with a need in mind. We are training with a need in mind, saying that where will this trainee go to? What competencies do I want them to have?
Away from that, Mbeere North Member of Parliament Geoffrey Ruku has urged Treasury CS John Mbadi to implement innovative tax measures that won't burden Kenyans. Speaking during an inspection of ongoing projects in Mbeere North, Ruku noted that citizens' expectations are high and the government needs funds to meet its obligations. He praised infrastructure projects by Ruto's administration, including road construction, irrigation projects like Kamumu Dam, and school improvements funded by NGCDF. Ruku also condemned the rise in femicide cases, calling on men to end such behavior. Local residents remain hopeful that the government will fulfill its development promises.
Within Mbeere North constituency, we have inspected the ongoing construction or tamaking of Kanyombora, Kamumu, Soko, Kageri Road, as well as Muvakari to Getie. The work is going on very well. We want to thank the government and cooperation they have with the company called Steco in tamaking this project, this road. Through CS Mbandi, They are in government. They have a responsibility to ensure we expand our tax base without Kenyans making noise. How they are going to do that, I don't know, but we are there to support any innovative policy, any innovative idea, which will expand our tax base, we collect more, we do more development projects, we use this money in a most prudent manner, without money going to corruptions. And Kenyans, without Kenyans making noise or going to the street. If those ideas come from the CS in charge of Treasury, we will be there to support them, to ensure we have enough resources which are coming from expanded tax base. There are many areas.
Now, in a push to address growing concerns over Kenya's involvement in the Energy Charter Treaty (ECT), a high-level forum has brought together key stakeholders, including young legislators, energy experts, and civil society groups. Hosted by Action Aid International Kenya, the Pan-Africa Climate Justice Alliance, and the Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association, the event focused on the treaty's potential impact on Kenya's energy sector and climate policies. As the forum unfolded, participants raised alarm over the ECT's vague terms, warning that they could undermine the country's climate goals. With uncertainty surrounding the treaty's provisions, experts fear it could pose significant challenges to Kenya's efforts to transition to clean energy and reduce carbon emissions. The discussion reflects a growing concern over how international agreements may clash with local climate action, leaving the country at a crossroads in balancing development and sustainability.
We look at which countries.
The Energy Charter Treaty tends to protect investments of fossil fuels, and when we sign up to it, it means we may have to compromise some of our climate commitments and climate agreements where we are looking at a world where we are reducing emissions. And the effects of climate change are felt everywhere, and the people who are most affected are the vulnerable communities.
We are calling on Parliament to do its job. We know that treaties are signed by the process of an entire conversation or discussion that should involve public participation. We are demanding that Parliament then engages in proper scrutiny of some of these treaties and not just leave it to the executive, not just leave it to members of cabinet to sign this without going through due process.
What we are encouraging our members of Parliament to do is to ask the right questions on behalf of the people from these cabinet secretaries. Because if we do not do that, our country is going to suffer those severe ramifications in terms of contractual costs that come with the Energy Charter Treaty, and those are the same reasons that is making European countries leave this particular treaty. For us,